Hello, beautiful souls inside of the sales and family leadership world. I am so excited to bring you a very special guest, a very special conversation, and a very special, unique opportunity on this conversation that I'm having with this beautiful woman, Elvira. Elvira and I met actually in my Connect and Collaborate networking call, and we met and one-on-one after for 15 minutes, a couple minutes in, like our hearts connected. We were both crying because like on a soul level, we were so deeply connected on the mission that we have for this world, of how we both are so connected and wanting to make this world a better place by liberating women and really tap into these incredible possibilities that are open for each and every one of us. And Elvira is someone, when you just tap into her energy, your mind is going to be expanded to what else is possible. This woman is a jazz artist. She is an incredible coach. She is an actor. She has all these different tools and gifts and wisdom to share with the world. And I'm really, really thrilled to bring her into this community to share more about her. Welcome, Elvira. I'm so excited to have
Oh,
you.
oh my God. Thank you. That's like the best introduction. I got so many chills. I've got tears. Thank you, Charlotte. I see you. Thank you for seeing me. I believe that this is what's going to heal the world when women, especially women, because I believe that women are the ones that are here to save the world, right? Even the Dalai Lama said, the world will be saved by the Western woman. And I truly believe that, Charlotte, but only when the Western woman has healed enough on the inside that she can come together with other women and not be intimidated by those women, but to lock arms with them. And 1 plus 1 is not 2, 1 plus 1 is 11. We go farther together. And so this is why I believe I manifested you in my life, because the universe said, okay, you're ready to go to next level. Now I'm going to connect you with Charlotte, so this is how we get to, grow together and serve the world together in collaboration and co-creation, never competition. So that's my opening statement right there. I hope you resonate.
Oh, it's incredible. You went through a massive transformation in your own life. You've talked about it on our Connect and Collaborate calls of like how you come from like big pharma sales person who won all multiple awards to this woman who's exploring all of these creative geniuses within you. And I would love to share a little bit about your story of how all of this came to be.
Yeah, yeah. What a great question. Yeah, so before I start on my story, because I want you to hear my story, I think it's pretty impactful. I think some women will really resonate with it, not being allowed to be themselves as a little one growing up, needing to be what their parents wanted them to be so they could be loved, right? The people pleaser, the good little girl, right? That this is how I grew up, right? Being Italian, being Catholic, right? This is how I grew up. But before I get into that story, I'd like to just talk about what's present right now. So this is really, really cool. So for years, I knew that this is the work that I was brought here to do, to help elevate all of us, not just my modality, but all modalities. So I represent, I'm the founder of the Miracle Magnet movement that states that all modalities matter because, we can heal through different ways and we don't have to, it's not like mine's the only system that works. No, there's many ways that work. And so we need to figure out what's in our miracle mix. What is it that helps us to live in alignment with our highest self? Aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed is how I describe it, because that's making use of all your gifts that you were brought here, to serve with in this lifetime. And so the idea that, I always say there's over 8 billion people on the planet, Charlotte, and there's over 8 billion ways to love your vibe and be a miracle magnet. You get to choose what works for you, what's in your miracle mix, right? So the miracle magnet movement states that all modalities matter. So now I have a global team that use my modality and their own modalities on my platform to help humanity to heal, to grow, right? To do the inner work. And it's for heart-centered humans, people that have been to dark places and they've struggled and they don't need to be hit in the face with some of these toxic masculine approaches. things that I did, when I lived out of alignment, when I lived in Big Pharma world, I did, like, God bless Tony Robbins. He helped me when I went from working in cancer research into Big Pharma. But at rock bottom, it wasn't Tony's teachings that saved my life. I'd done this other program called Landmark Education, and Landmark, is really good. It helps you get out of your head and into your heart. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's more like it helps you understand why you think the way you think, and to make sense of the stories growing up and everything, so you can let go of those stories and just be who you are authentically, right? So I did Landmark, but at my rock bottom, it wasn't Landmark that saved me. I'd been religious my whole life. God is out there. I'm a lowly sinner. You know, that those teachings didn't help me when I was at my rock bottom, because I literally was ready to die at my rock bottom. So I'm going to go back and tell you that story in a second. But I want to, start it off with this because I'm guided to. I'm a channeler. So I'm an international speaker. I'm working with one of the oldest speakers bureaus on the planet. And yet when they accept, like, it was a miracle that I manifested when COVID hit, because I said, one day I'm speaking in India, one day I'm speaking in Dubai. I don't know how it's going to happen. Well, when COVID hit, this amazing company was looking for some new people, and one of my clients said, "Hey, check out Elvira Hopper." So sure enough, they Googled me and they checked out my stuff online, and they said they invited me to join their roster, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? It was that easy?" Like, I thought I would have to jump through hoops to become a professional speaker. And so, anyways, I said to them, "Hey, listen, I don't speak, I channel. Spirit gives me all the words and I just share them." And they're like, "We don't care. We saw you online. We love you," right? So these are the miracles that can happen when you get into alignment, right? Becoming a jazz singer at 51. Who does that, right? Well, someone that's really aligned and serving with their gifts. It's not about their ego being up on stage, like a stage like that. It's not about ego. It's about service, right? So this is what happens when we do that inner work, when we heal, when we don't need outer validation like we need oxygen. We're just being ourselves. Miracles happen, right? Miracles find us every day. And I live in that space every day. And I teach people how to do that. I activate people how to do that. I lead a global team that can help people do that as well. So the Miracle Magnet movement states all modalities matter. And I've brought these modalities to this platform because, like I said, Tony's teachings didn't help, Landmark didn't help, religion didn't help. Therapy, I'd done therapy for 2 years when I was a new mommy to get over my mommy issues. Yes, it worked. It took, 2 years, though it was very expensive. So when I hit my rock bottom, I needed something different. And that thing that came through saved my life, saved my sanity, helped my marriage go from hell on wheels to heaven on earth. We nearly split 3 different times, but we weren't meant to. When I was living from my ego, I nearly killed my marriage 3 different times. So this is the power of this inner work. So when I got these teachings, from here to here, right? And then the funnest fact of all is I got to achieve my childhood dream at 51. So that is a miracle. And I want these tools to be in all heart-centered humans' hearts and souls, because I believe that if they learn how to shift from being a crap magnet down here, living out of alignment, attracting crappy things to themselves, because that's the law of attraction, right? To becoming miracle magnets where they're living up here as a miracle magnet, they start attracting better things, better health, better relationships, more money. This is what's possible, right? So anyway, so that's the miracle magnet movement. But then in the last couple of weeks, Charlotte, I've channeled a few other movements too. And what happened is I was giving this workshop up at this really cool retreat. Shout out to Jonathan Carroll. He put on this amazing international retreat up in Muskoka. So I live just outside Toronto, and Muskoka is about 3 hours away. And so he invited me to do a workshop, and Spirit just gave me this workshop. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And it was getting these entrepreneurs that were attending this thing from all over the world to create this at first I called it the entrepreneurial abundance tree. Okay, so that is what I called it, the EAT, entrepreneurial abundance tree, right? So got them to create this tree with all these branches, and getting them to realize they don't have to do one thing. They can do all the things that light them up. right? And so they were so excited, these seven amazing women that were in it, and they created these beautiful trees, and theirs was way prettier than mine because I gave them a sample of mine, but theirs was even more beautiful, and they inspired me so much. And so they created these trees. But then something else dropped in after we left that, and they gave me such beautiful feedback for this workshop. And I realized, oh my God, you're familiar with the term ikigai, Charlotte, the Japanese term ikigai. Are you familiar with that?
Through you, but I'm not sure if my audience knows. So please go
Okay,
ahead and
okay,
share
all
a little
right,
bit what
okay.
it is. I just learned
Yeah.
it from you. Yeah.
Okay, okay, awesome. I love that you learned it from me. I'm honored that I taught it to you. So it's a Japanese term. It's been around for a long time. And ikigai, you can just like, Google it and you can see pictures of it. But I'm going to describe it to you. So ikigai is a circle with what you love, what you're great at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. The intersection of those four circles is your ikigai. And so I realized, having these women make these, entrepreneurial abundance trees, that they have more than one ikigai, and so do I. And I realized I have seven ikigais, and there's even more because I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, so yeah, I'm a coach, I'm an international speaker, I'm a jazz singer turned sound healer. I have about seven other healing modalities. I am the founder of the Love Your Vibe Transformation Personal Evolution Solutions for Heart-Centered Humans, and I'm also the founder of Return to You Elite Global Retreat Centers. So these are all things that I was brought here to do with an overall mission of helping humanity to love their vibe and be miracle magnets. And I do it in all these different ways. That's the tree trunk, right? Is the foundation. Like I'm here to help, heart-centered humans become miracle magnets because I believe that when we do, we're going to reveal heaven on earth. Because heaven on earth is here right now. We just have to help people see how powerful they are and how much they can manifest, all of their dreams, right? So that's the foundation. But I have all these different ways in which I do it as a speaker, as a coach, as a healer, as a jazz singer, sound healer, right? So I invite everybody to see what's possible for them. So this entrepreneurial abundance tree, very humble thing that I started at this very small workshop that I did, um, turned into the multi-ikigai tree. So what is multi-ikigai? Multiple ikigais, right? What is in you to do that you're great at, that you love, that the world needs, that you can get paid for? Because as you mentioned at the beginning, stats show that millionaires and billionaires have 7 to 11 streams of income. So if you can do the things that light you up, that you're great at, that the world needs, that you can get paid for it, that's not work at all. Well, guess what? You've got a better life. You are a miracle magnet, right? So I invite all entrepreneurs to see that they need to have more than one stream of income. And my business is possibly one of those streams of income or not. But this is the idea is if you realize, oh my God, I went through that story for a reason. Now I can help someone else. Oh, I can use Elvira's platform to help other people to do this inner work, right? This is what one of their ikigais can be, right? If they know that their story happened for them, not to them, because they were brought here to help others. So that is what, as heart-centered entrepreneurs, we just want to help others. And I've already figured out, I've created the online platform where they can plug and play and monetize it, right? So my people make really good extra income and it's just one of the things they do, right? So I want entrepreneurs to realize, especially if they're heart-centered, that they can do more than one thing because then they never have to work a day in their life if they're doing what's in their ikigai, right? Do you resonate with that?
Oh, huge. I mean, there's so many great pointers that you brought. I think it's amazing because I feel when people really trust themselves enough to go for all the things that truly light them up, you
Yes,
have this kind of energy that you're bringing to the table today, Elvira, right?
exactly.
It's like life is so good and so limitless and rich in all ways. The
Yes,
opportunities, the money, the health, the relationship. It's
yes.
like when you just let
Ooh,
yourself break free and just open up and allow, like, yes, I don't have to niche in. No, I don't have to do just this one thing. And like really trusting yourself. And
yes,
I'm obsessed with
yes.
your concept and your work and the things that you bring to the table. And I truly believe from my heart that this is the future of business, is this
Mm,
really allowing ourselves to
thank you.
trust ourselves again. And
Oh,
I really want
And
to guide this conversation a little bit in this direction because there's so many incredible women, spiritual women,
yeah,
healers, like women who do incredible work. And
yeah,
yet they're often not seen the way that they should, right? Because their work is
yes,
changing lives every single day and they feel like
yes,
it's difficult maybe to voice what they do and bring it forward. And like maybe they feel like they don't know how to say it, or they feel shy like showing up on social media, and like there's
yeah,
all of these things. And I'm curious about the miracle movement when they tap into your work and they really become this miracle worker and they work on their heart and they open up by being featured on your website. Like, take us a little bit deeper about the
yeah.
transformation that happens
Oh,
inside of your word for the people who come in with something
yeah,
that they know they need to share with the word, and then what
yes,
happens inside to then
yeah.
get fully seen and paid for their gifts.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, what a great question. Thank you, Charlotte. And everything you said there, I got chills of confirmation. Absolutely. And I feel that's the problem when we're put in a box and we feel we only have to do one thing. We're not fully self-expressed. Our body feels it. Like my father could sing like Pavarotti, but never did anything with his voice. And you know what? He got sick. His body got two types of cancer, mental health struggles on meds, and a marriage in shambles. My father paid the ultimate price for living out of alignment, for not getting aligned, authentic, and fully self expressed. So, this modality that came through me, this divine feminine, gentle rain soaks approach, that's not like everything else I tried, that's more toxic masculine approach. This is what allowed me to become fully me. So, when I activate my team, the people that join me in this movement, they're activated to realize they can do everything that they were brought here to do too. And then it helps every area of our lives, right? It helps our business to be fully self expressed because we show up lit up, right? You become magnetic when you are doing everything you were brought here to do. You're not hiding a piece of yourself and staying small for other people's comfort. So my team are fully self-expressed, and they're even learning to unleash even more in what they're brought here to do, right? So the more they're in this environment, my team is incredible. I have the one of the best communities in the world. Your community is amazing too, by the way. But I have one of the best communities in the world because we see each other. We validate what we see in the other people, and then we all grow together. There's no competition. There's only collaboration and co-creation. And in that environment, in that safe container, we grow, we heal, we grow, we become everything we were brought here to be. And it's beautiful to witness these beautiful souls. And it's not just women, it's men too. We have a few men on the team. And so, this is what this work does. So before I get into my story, I just want to talk about the third movement that was shown to me. So, about 11 or 12 years ago, I was divinely gifted with a vision on the morning of a dear friend's funeral, Charlotte. And I believe it was her soul that crossed over. She was in her 90s. She was my best friend's mother in law. And I believe this was a woman who knew I was lost in my life at that time. I had just become a coach. I lost my father. I was in a dark place. I didn't know who I was serving back then. So, this woman, I believe, wanted to help me because now she's on the other side. And I believe when they're on the other side, souls have superpowers and they can help us, right? I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but when my dad died the year before, all these miracles started happening in my life. And I knew it was dad. I would always say, "Hey, thank you, dad. Hey, thank you, dad." Right? So I believe that's what happens. I'm afraid anyone can relate to that. But anyway, so when this woman, it was the day of her funeral. I believe this is why it happened on the day of her funeral. I got to see this vision of these incredible spaces that I had seen actually for 15 years when I was in Big Pharma. Walking through these palatial estates, big giant Florida cathedral ceiling windows, and just gorgeous, gorgeous spaces. And oh my God, I love your water bottle. Mine's not quite as pink, but that's my pink. There we go. Sorry, neurodivergent mind. So basically, I saw myself walking through these places for about 15 years, and I said to a friend of mine who's very psychic, I said, "Maria, why do I keep imagining all these places? Like, I would just imagine them and then the vision was gone, right? Day in the light of day, not sleeping. I wasn't taking drugs, like I just would have these visions and they'd be gone, right? So she tapped in because she's very psychic and she goes, Elvira, you're going to be living there. And I'm like, how the hell's that going to happen? Right. And she tapped in again and she goes, I don't see that part. And I said, okay, well, whatever, maybe I'm going to win a big giant lottery because there was more than one place and they were beautiful and gorgeous. And I didn't know how it was going to come to pass. Well, here's what I've learned since, okay? Time is not linear. I was actually living in that time, in those brief moments. That was another time space, okay? I don't get quantum physics as some people do, but I know that there was some truth to that, right? So anyways, so that's what happened for all those years. And then the morning of the funeral, as I was waking up, I was feeling really lousy, really lost in my life, had a headache, had cramps. I knew I was going to a funeral, blah, 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 right? Anyway, as I'm waking up, I hear this, Elvira, all those places you've been imagining all these years? Well, guess what? They're not your places, but you're going to be running them as retreat centers to serve the 1%, to help them to do their inner work so that they get to show up as their aligned, authentic, fully self expressed higher self, not their ego self. And by them showing up this way, we're going to lock arms with them and we're going to resolve global issues. And I was shown the first 5 celebrity investors that want to be a part of this. I'm not going to name drop just yet, but I was like, how the hell do I connect with them? And then I heard, don't worry about the how. The how will reveal itself when you're ready. And I'm like, okay. So that was it. I was transformed. I'm getting chills. I was transformed. I was never the same ever again. And then I understood why my husband and I stayed together. We weren't meant to split up because of my ego. We were meant to get even closer. Because what does my husband do for a living? Well, I actually manifested him becoming my COO. So now he is helping me to run my company because he does all the things I don't want to do. But what did he do for 40 years? Well, he built and ran hotels. And so this is why we were brought together for this bigger mission. And so all these miracles happened that day when I went to the church, and I won't get into those right now, but that's how I knew it was her soul that wanted to help me because she loved me and she wanted me to see, she wanted to see me do well. So now this thing up here, these 11 global retreat centers have turned into, thanks to ChatGPT. ChatGPT gave me this idea. They said, Elvira, you're running these. So 1 second, I need to plug in my computer. So give me 1 second here. One sec. Okay. All right. So ChatGPT gave me the idea that this up here is actually a movement. It's a movement of creating conscious leaders so that by helping them with doing their inner work, healing their trauma, being everything they were brought here to be, not just hiding behind a mask, an ego mask, and pretending that, they're rich and famous and powerful, but actually connecting to who they truly are. They're called Return to You Global Retreat Centers. It's about them returning to themselves. These are majestic places. I saw them for a long, long time. And we're just waiting for the investors to say, hell yeah, green light the project so we can start building these places. And we're going to need people like you and everybody watching this. If they want to serve at that level, I'm going to help you do that because if you're trained at this level to facilitate my work, I can easily slot you in to facilitate at this level because my people are the best qualified, trained for holding the safest space for transformation because we were trained by one of the best people on the planet who's actually trained landmark leaders. Landmark is considered the go-to personal development company, and she actually trained landmark leaders, and they said to her, your program was even better than landmarks. So that's how I know that my leaders are very well trained. So anybody that's trained here to facilitate the Love Your Vibe transformation, I can slot them in to serve at the highest level because I know they're going to hold safe space. So anyway, so those are my 3 movements: the miracle magnet movement, the Multi-Guy movement, and the conscious leader movement. So who the hell does that? Well, there was a little moment when I said, okay, who the hell am I to do that? But now I realize, who the hell am I not to? I'm in Alex's program, the Trailblazers. I forget the exact title. Forgive me, but it's like I'm activated. I'm like, I see what else is possible, right? This is the power of great mentorship and coaching. And she's your mentor and you're on fire. And I'm being mentored in this very little program. I only paid $33 for it. And I've gotten so much value from it because this is when this dropped in, this idea of you are the founder of three movements. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I think I can handle that. So I've got capacity to handle that in my nervous system because you've helped with that. So I am so grateful because I'm part of the world class woman. And yeah, I have to be a world-class woman if I'm to serve at this level, right? So this is what I honor you, sister, because I know that it's the right mentorship, leadership, coaching that allows me to get to my next level. This is why I love coaching, right? A woman I just started with today, I told you the story backstage. I started with her today, and she had this really big goal on what she wanted to get done in her business. And today was our first coaching call. And she goes, at the end of the call, she goes, "Oh, by the way, Elvira, that thing I wanted to do, I've already done it." I'm like, "What?"
Wow. Wow.
So this is the power of intention, of investing in yourself and saying, I know that I'm going to get this intention because I'm working with the right person. She knew I was her person for years. She just, didn't have the, wherewithal to invest right away. And divine timing is perfect timing, right? So she invested when she did. And so now we just started and we're like, she's flying already, right? So anyhow, I'm super excited. So let me go back to my story. I want you to understand where this all came from so people can hopefully relate to this story as well. So when I was a little girl, saw a bunch of women singing and dancing on stage. Okay. And I was this fat little Italian kid because we came from Italy to Canada when I was 5 and I was a skinny little kid. But because my parents were not very happy, they were fighting, bickering all the time. I was the sensitive, artistic child. What did I do? I ate my emotions. So I became this rotund little 11-year-old. Okay. So here I am. I'm at this jazz show, this cabaret show. It was my father worked in the restaurant downstairs, and this show was going on upstairs. So why was I there? There was no kids at this show, but it was destiny that I be there because I was supposed to see these women on stage. I was supposed to be activated in what I was here to do, right? At least one of them, one of my ikigais. So I'm in the audience. There's no kids. It's very sexy. A lot of goddesses singing and dancing on stage. My dad's working downstairs. And did he put me there because he was babysitting me for the night and had to stick me there? Or was it because my mom said you were singing and dancing before you could walk and talk? And I insisted on going, right? So which of those, I don't know, but I was there. So there I am, and I'm looking at these beautiful goddesses singing, dancing, their hair, their makeup, their clothes. They were gorgeous. And remember what I look like. I'm this fat little Italian kid, right? So afterwards, my dad comes to get me. My dad sees the stars in my eyes and he goes, "Would you like to meet them backstage?" And I'm like, "I can meet them?" I felt like I was going to meet the queens of the world. So my father wanted to impress his little daughter, brings her backstage. These women, they look at me, they look at him. They said, "Joe, this is your daughter. She's so beautiful." And I'm thinking, I'm beautiful. I'm a fat little Italian kid. You're beautiful. And you're even more beautiful for telling me that I'm beautiful. So, Charlotte, I felt seen for the first time in my life. I was seen by these goddesses who I felt were just like me. I was literally a few steps behind them. They were probably in their 20s and 30s. I was 11. So I walk away with my dad. My dad, who as I mentioned earlier, could sing like Pavarotti. My dad, who was told good men are not on stages like this. Good men are good husbands and fathers and providers. So I say to my dad, "Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grow up." So I think you know how the story goes, right? What did he say?
He's like, you're probably not meant to be on stage. You're probably meant to be a good wife and have children.
Pretty much. But here's how he said it. He
Okay.
goes, Elvira, you can't be one of those women on stage because those women are sluts.
Hmm.
So that was it. I wasn't allowed to be me anymore. That's when I decided, okay, daddy, I'm not allowed to be who I want to be. Who do you need me to be so you will love me? And I figured out real fast he wanted me to be a good little Italian Catholic girl, get good grades, get a good career, get a good husband, and give him some grandchildren. Well, guess what, Charlotte? I checked off all those boxes in that order. And at rock bottom, I was ready to die
Mm.
because I wasn't able to be fully myself. I was working in not one, but two solid healthcare careers, first cancer research, then Big Pharma, 27 years in Western medicine, where I actually was living so out of alignment. I got bullied. I struggled with depression, anxiety, panic attacks, bipolar. That was the universe trying to shake me to wake me to get out of this inauthentic life. But I wouldn't listen because my ego was like, you're making good money. This is what your parents want you to do. This is what you have to do. Well, guess what? I could only do that so long. My last 2 years of corporate were a total shit show where I was bullied corporately. I attracted another bully socially, went to a dark place mentally where none of the inner work that I'd done that I described earlier worked anymore. And at rock bottom, I said to my higher power, give me a way out of my hell. That's not drugs. That's not therapy. So it couldn't be Western medicine, which I experienced, right? It needed to be holistic. Okay. It needed to be fast and holistic. So I asked for that way. And at rock bottom, you either die or you transform. Guess what I did? I transformed. So now it's my duty to share this modality with the world because that's what Spirit said. As soon as it changed my life, my marriage, I went from crap magnet to miracle magnet. My depression went away, no more panic attacks, no more anxiety. It was no more bipolar. It was a freaking miracle. Got to achieve becoming a pro jazz artist at 51. I'm on these kind of stages today. I'm winning awards. I'm singing. I'm wowing Oprah Winfrey's man, Stedman Graham. Like these are the things that I get to do today because I'm not hiding. I'm not staying in that box for anybody's comfort anymore. Sadly, my father died with his real music still in him because he got bullied at work and he had nervous breakdown. He couldn't deal. So he had to go on meds for the rest of his life. So I saw what meds did to my dad. And I was also a drug rep. I knew it wasn't going to be Western medicine. I knew it needed to be natural and fast. And that's what I got. So when Spirit said, hey, Elvira, look at you. This isn't just for you. This is for you to share with the world. And I'm like, how the hell do I do that? Well, when COVID hit, Charlotte, two amazing women stepped forward, Eleanor Hayward and Jennifer Hawkins. Big shout out to them. They stepped forward and they said, Elvira, we don't know when we're going to work again because COVID. One's a hairdresser, one's a massage therapist. And your modality saved our lives too. And we believe it's our duty to share it with the world. And I cried and I said, oh my God, that's how it gets shared with the world, not through me, through you. And they created a beautiful 6-month program. They added their own magic to it as well. They made it even better, even more robust. And they're the ones that facilitate this work. I don't facilitate that work in small groups of 8 people and under. They facilitate. And Eleanor created this beautiful program to train the apprentices on how to become miracle mindset mentors. So she certifies them. Well, we all certify them together, but basically, she's the one that trains the new people. And I'm going to say like about 90% of people that graduate want to become facilitators of this work. So that's how my team is growing. And so it's beautiful. It works. I believe I'm going to put my flag in the sand and say this is the best way of doing the inner work on the whole planet. If you are a heart-centered human and you've gone through traumatizing situations and you've been a crap magnet, attracting things you don't want to your life, this will help you to become a miracle magnet. And then at that point, you get to live the life of your dreams, whatever that looks like, and connect to your purpose and to be fully self-expressed, to have all the ikigai, right? So this is a program that helps you to become fully you. And when you do that, everything gets better. So yes, our team is growing. So if anybody that's watching is curious, how can I add this and make this an ikigai? Because I know my story happened for a reason, because that's what my team does. They have their own story, message, and magic, their own modalities on my platform too. So they facilitate my work as a foundation. It's basically personal development 101 for heart-centered humans, but then we take them to the higher levels of the inner work, right? The more spiritual stuff, right? We explain how to become a miracle magnet very simply in modern language, but then a lot of my team are more esoteric and they're more spiritual, more woo-woo, So we bring those people to those places in a very, gentle way, right? Versus because the world needs these modalities, all of them, right? The world is hurting right now, right? We have so many people in dark places mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Their relationships are falling apart. Like this is what COVID does. This is what wars do. This is what politics does, right? So we want to help heart-centered humans to be fully themselves, to be aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed. So this is the movement, the miracle magnet movement. Let's do it with all the modalities, not just mine. Mic drop.
So powerful. Elvira, I have goosebumps and tears just listening to your story and like how many people can relate to so many aspects of your story. I feel like you lived a million lifetimes, right?
I
With
did.
this, by
I
like
did.
fully being so connected and divinely guided. And I mean, God, universe, whatever you believe in, like put all these
Yeah.
big visions on you because it knows that you can hold it all, that you need
Yes.
to bring this out into the world. And like how beautiful that you trust this and that you take the
Yes.
initiatives to collaborate with other women and other people to
Oh,
really spread this work across the planet.
yeah.
So you
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
so incredible. I like just meeting you and hearing your story. I can listen to this over and over again. I know the ripple effect. I can see it already in my own community of the ripple you've spread and how we're gonna share it even more with people, just hearing your story and the work that you do. So for everyone who's listening and they relate to your story, just from my understanding, I just want to be really clear. Is it two programs? So it's one, it's really
Yes.
the self-development about
Yes.
becoming a miracle magnet, and then
Yeah.
this more personal development. But then if people want to do this as a career and be a facilitator and later on maybe work at one of your retreat centers, so the
Yes. Yeah.
facilitation programs,
Yes.
so there's two. So one personal development, one career path. Is that
Yes,
right?
yes,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh,
You explained it beautifully. One is
amazing.
just going through the program so you can experience the transformation and see how much it works. And
Yes.
then you get to say, okay, I want to facilitate this too. I want to make money on Elvira's platform. I want to put my own story, message, and magic. However many modalities you have, you can put them on my platform. And then I bring you clients because I am the marketing machine. This is why I lived out of alignment in Big Pharma for 20 years, because essentially I'm a bit of an expert at branding and sales and marketing and promotion. And I'm a you see me, I'm a motor mouth. I can be the face of this movement and represent all the beautiful souls behind me that just want to help others. And they're doing other things. They don't want to figure out the back end of a personal development business. Why not just plug and play into mine? And I can help you, create even more abundance in your life. And more importantly, help you to realize that your story happened for you, not to you, so you could help others. And that's how we never get to be victims ever again when we know that our story happened for us, not to us. Charlotte, I would go back and experience every moment of pain that I did throughout my whole life when I was living out of alignment as a crap magnet. I would go through every single thing over again because of who I am today, how I get to serve today. If I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I wouldn't be able to relate to the people that I serve today. Do you know that because I was at rock bottom and I wanted to end my life, when I said, give me a way out, that's not, any of those things I talked about, or give me a way of killing myself. I've helped so many people to not commit suicide because my story helped them. And we all have stories that are meant to serve others. And if you can monetize it on my platform, hey, why not do that, right? As one of your guys, you're not a one-trick pony. I always say, as an entrepreneur, if you're a one-trick pony, you're a sitting duck. You're just going to get shot down. But remember, 7 to 11 streams of income to be a millionaire and a billionaire. And I'm on my way to being a billionaire because at this level, when I serve here, I'm going to be a billionaire. And I believe we all have this inside of us at whatever level we choose. I just want to activate you to not stay small in the box. By me living my biggest, boldest, most amazing miracle life, as we call it, you get to do it too. You get to see this person that who the hell is she? Who the hell am I? Well, I'm just somebody who's ready to die, but I wasn't meant to die. I was meant to share this with the world. So,
You are the most incredible woman. Avira, I love your heart. You're so beautiful, the impact that you make on this planet. I am really, really thrilled for your work and sharing this with my community. We will link to all of her work below this video, and I wanted to check it out. Share this video if you know anyone who would benefit from this kind of work. And Elvira,
Yeah.
do you have anything else that you want to add before we end this beautiful conversation?
Okay. So I wasn't going to share this, but I feel like I need to because if somebody knows her, then you can connect us. Okay. Who was the first person shown to me to be the first investor in this beautiful global retreat project? Did I tell you?
I guessed on our conversation
Yeah,
when
you
you
did, didn't you?
started.
Okay. Who is it? Who is it, Charlotte?
It was so interesting because you asked me and then I immediately had a vision in my mind, but I was like, am I actually going to say this out loud? And then I was like, no, I trust myself. And I said Oprah, and you were like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah is the first investor that was shown. So if anybody knows Oprah, please connect us because I have a beautiful invitation for her to make the most impact on the planet that she's ever made because we know how impactful she is. But this being part of this project will help her to help the 1% to help the rest of the world. And I believe that it is definitely a vehicle for her to leave the biggest legacy on the planet. So I'm just dropping that right there. And so I'm 1 degree of separation from her. I've sung to her man, Stedman Graham. It's all online. Google Stedman Graham, Elvira Hopper. You'll see me singing to him. It's quite hilarious. But I didn't just sing him. I didn't just sing. I wowed him. Okay. So this to me was the universe saying, Elvira, you're not that far from her. You're 1 degree of separation. Just keep going. And so I went to hear him speak in Chicago. He remembered who I was. I said, "Hey, Stedman, sang to you in Toronto last year. I don't know if you remember me." He goes, "Of course I remember you. You were fantastic." And I said, "Listen, Stedman, I came to hear you speak again because I need to tell you about this mission that I'm on, and you need to know about it." And he said, "Let me know what I can do to help." But then the next day, I spoke to his PR person, and she said he had to fly out. He can't meet with you. And I'm like, "That's fine." She goes, "But stay connected because Stedman likes people who are in his life, year after year. He's a very loyalty kind of person." And then when I got back to Toronto, I said, well, Spirit said, I didn't say, Spirit said, "You don't meet Oprah through Stedman. You meet Oprah when the Love Your Vibe transformation is popping and buzzing globally, and Oprah's producers bring you onto the podcast and you talk about your mission and all the movements. Well, now all the movements I can talk about, and then you get an audience with her. So I'm waiting for that. I'm holding space for that. I know people are probably thinking she's crazy, but then others are going to go, I resonate because I want to serve at this level too. And Alvira can bring me into those rooms so I can serve the 1%. Because after we've helped these people, we're going to bring them into these rooms where we present our planetary passion project. Okay. And I believe that we probably have more than one, but my top planetary passion project, Charlotte, is raising Indigenous voices so we can implement Indigenous wisdom globally. I believe the Indigenous people of our world have been pushed aside and that we haven't taken their wisdom seriously. And I want to give them a louder voice at the table. And I want these people that have the influence, that have the power, that have the money for us to do something about this issue, to come to the table and lock arms with me, at least one person in that room that I present this PPP to, Planetary Passion Project. That's how we're going to resolve that issue. But there's so many crises and issues on the planet. And if you can bring yours, so Charlotte, I'm going to put you on the spot here. What would you change in the world like right now? If you can make the world a better place, what would it look like? If I waved my magic wand over you and said, Charlotte, the world looks like this now, what would you say?
One thing that I'm super connected to and is the ocean. I'm such a water person, and for me, it would be really cleaning the ocean and also having people go into the ocean more. I always say I live 20 minutes from the beach and I go as often as I can I say to clean my aura, and I really feel it.
Oh,
Like every time I just jump
I
into the
love that.
ocean, it regulates my nervous system and opens my heart. It brings me back into possibility and vision, and connecting me to
Wow.
my vision is the ocean.
Wow.
I'm a mermaid, and
Yes. Yes, me too. I'm a mermaid too.
and I'm like, I want people to connect to Mother Nature, like go
Yeah.
swim in the ocean and
Oh,
preserve the
so
ocean. Like
much.
this is one thing that is really, really connected to
Well,
my heart.
you're bringing me chills and tears. You know why? because that was one of the PPPs that I saw. We're going to be cleaning up the oceans. We're going to be getting clean drinking water for people that don't have it. We're going to be working on saving children from childhood trafficking. We're going to be doing all these different things that need to be done because we're going to have the power of the masses of these people here that are going to help us through their funding, through their connections. Because let's face it, politicians aren't doing enough to clean up the world. So we need the people that are most influential to really put all their beautiful heads together in a mastermind in order to resolve these global issues. Do you resonate with that?
100%. It's
Well, you know
beautiful.
what's interesting too? You know what's interesting too? So cleaning up the oceans is one of them that was shown to me. And you know who the second investor is? Somebody who has a deep passion with you on this. So Richard Branson is the second investor, and he
Mhm.
cares very much about the oceans too.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put that out. If anybody knows Sir Richard, please connect us because this is, and then the third investor, I'm going to tell you, he was, I actually met him. He saved my life at one point. And I got to shake his hand and say, "Hey, Tony, you saved my life." Tony Robbins is the third investor.
Incredible.
So, and my coach is going on safari with Sir Richard Branson. So I'm literally 1 degree of separation from Oprah, Sir Richard, and Tony. And then there's a few more. But anyways, we won't get into those people. But that's how it grows, right? It's like a domino effect. But Oprah's the queen pin for it. So this is what I'm waiting for, and I cannot wait. My husband is waiting to serve on the back end, create these incredible, majestic spaces. I'm on the front end with all of the healers and the coaches and the thought leaders that are going to help them to shift and to live as their aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed self. They're going to take off all their ego masks and they're just going to show up as the beautiful, empowered beings they were brought here to do to save Mama Gaia and its people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Elvira, you are incredible. This has
Yeah.
been the most beautiful conversation. I am so grateful that we have met and you get to share all of this big vision and support and opportunities for people to plug in all levels
Yes,
to
all levels.
create a better
Yeah.
place, create a better world for all of
Ooh,
us. Thank you so much for being here
thank
today.
you, Charlotte, for inviting me. You're so beautiful. And I hope that, your future continues to inspire all women to really do their magic, their sales in a most aligned, divine feminine way, because you're that person. You're the authority. I am deeming you right now the authority on somatic sales where women can show up in their divine feminine and just attract all of that which they need in order to thrive. I am saying that right now, and I honor you so much, Charlotte. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for all that you do.
Wow. Thank you so
Mwah.
much. I deeply received that. Thank you.
Yay.